I want to tell you the story of one of my students today. Just recently, she came to me panic-stricken. She told me her story of what happened. Unfortunately, my student didn't listen to the shaman. My dear, I always say, if you come to shamans, please learn and follow the knowledge given to you from one source. So often it happens that we want to go to an astrologer or visit a woman who knows how to tell one's fortune, trying different options rather than just focusing on the true source. In search of different stories, my beautiful student went to an astrologer. My student was a rather famous person, and she came to me panicking because the astrologer looked at her horoscope and said that she will have a death experience very soon. This could mean either a loss of health, meaning she could be disabled for life, or even total physical death. I always share with my students, just as it's written in the book, The Call of the Spirits, Authentic Shamanism, that you have to treat your destiny correctly. The modern world perceives everything that comes to us as karma. The astrologer told my student, "You have accumulated such bad karma for what has happened to you in your past lives that soon there will be a point of death in your horoscope. You will either die or suffer so much that you will lose all your health." In the Siberian shamanic knowledge, there is the great truth and the great wisdom that a person's life is affected by three forces: karma, God, and the conscious will of a person. Karma has accumulated. Karma is the mechanical law of cause and effect. If there are some actions, there will always be consequences. If a person has developed some negative thoughts, maybe envy, anxiety, or even hatred, then, according to the law of karma, if there is a cause, then there will be a consequence. These thoughts will grow bigger. People find themselves in different situations. Some believe that this accumulated negative karma may cause a person to feel a great desire to kill someone or to hurt his wife. Can you believe it? Negative spirits affect this person. It is his negative karma. A person may see that his neighbor has done something wrong, and he has a desire to take vengeance and report him to the police. This same person may be irritated by someone at work, and karma is accumulated in the person, and now the person wants to create an unpleasant situation for the one who has irritated him. All of this is karma. This tendency that you started to develop keeps growing. Let's see what happens if a person's consciousness gets involved. Even if you have already raised your hand to attack another person, your will awakens. Your consciousness awakens, and you eventually change your mind and put that hand down. You can turn around and walk away from the situation. You won't report your neighbor to the police. You won't get your coworker in trouble, or even your relative in trouble. A person's will and consciousness can stop the actions of their karma. I can now hear the question you have. How does a person develop this will and consciousness? This is what we do at our live shamanic seminars. When you come to learn, I, as a shaman, tell you the ancient, wise laws of shamanism about karma and about the will of man. We learn to hear spirits, we learn rhythm, and we learn to feel the whole world around us. And through all shamanic rituals we practice together, our will is developed. I'm talking to you today about karma and what affects a person. Karma, a person's will, and God. All the ancient sages, civilizations, and legends know that God can intervene in any person's destiny and change it completely. For example, people who have perceived this truth understand that for the will of God to be manifested in a person's destiny, for the person's whole destiny to be changed, the person needs to find the one who will become his real spiritual teacher in his life. If we speak about India, people look for a guru. They depart to a yoga ashram for a life, find their guru, and their destiny changes completely. Can you believe it? The will of the guru, the will of the teacher, and the power of the teacher is stronger than the karma of the student who has come to him. The student is developing his consciousness by learning from his guru, for example, in a yoga ashram. Let's look at it from a different perspective. One can see the same example as it pertains to Christianity. What did a man do when he wanted to know God? He retired to a monastery where a person would find a saint, to whom he prayed, with whom he communicated. The saint shared the will of God for the monk, and the person, developing the qualities of will and awareness in himself, became aware of and felt in touch with God. God changes the destiny of such a person. A person develops superpowers. He could be a murderer who left the social world and came to live at the monastery. When this person surrenders to God, trusts his guru and his teacher, there will be a complete change of destiny. It's important to remember that the three forces that change a person's life are karma, the will of the person himself, his consciousness, and God. Do you want to know what happened to my student? I'm excited to share with you. As I've shared, she came to me panic-stricken and said, "The astrologer told me that according to my horoscope, I should have a fatal situation or death, or such an injury to my body that I might be paralyzed for the rest of my life." My response to her was telling her, "It is very good, my dear, that you have already attended my seminars, that you have already begun to develop your will and consciousness. It is this power that has brought you back to me now. Even though you didn't listen to my advice and visited an astrologer, you have returned to power. Now, thanks to your will, you will have the opportunity to turn to the higher gods who can change your destiny." My student and I performed a shamanic journey to the god Olgin. If you have already read the book, The Call of the Spirits, Authentic Shamanism, you know that God Olgin is the supreme deity who governs the future, creating the destiny of any living being. We did a great shamanic ritual together. The shaman's drum was playing. I, as a shaman, took the soul of my student, and in a shamanic flight we ascended into the world of the future, to Olgin Khan. The god Olgin Khan looked at my student's soul. She was asking him urgently, "Please change my destiny. I don't want to die now. I would like to help people." Olgin raised his staff and said, "Your destiny can be changed if you make a sacrifice. This sacrifice will be very difficult for you, but if you make the sacrifice, I will strike my staff against my cloud, and your destiny will be changed. Are you ready?" What would you do in this situation? My student bowed to Olgin and said, "Continue to speak, Olgin. What sacrifice would you like me to make to you?" Many of you may think that Olgin would ask to make a material sacrifice, but instead, Olgin asked for something very different. You have to do the following. You have to save the lives of 3 people this week. Their fate must change. Go and return in a week, and these 3 people must come to me. We completed the shamanic ritual, and when my student came out of her shamanic trance state, she said, "What am I supposed to do?" I gave the following advice. God will send you 3 people who need spiritual help. Please send them to me. I can help them connect with Olgin. Do the will of God Olgin Khan. My student was, in fact, very eager to do this task from Olgin. As she began to meet people, she realized that it was very difficult and hard for her to share with people her mission. She was worried about what people would think of her. What will this person think when I tell them to go to the shaman, and the shaman will help you change? My student tried to say it, but she felt herself being held back by the spirits of fear. She felt that she would be judged, that it would not be socially accepted in our world. One must seek help independently. How will she be able to help them, as she has come face to face with many spirits? She came back to me the next day. I helped her to overcome each spirit. I gave her advice, support, and energy. I told her, just tell people. Give them a chance to hear what you have to say and come. 9 people came to me from my student within a week. She passed on the knowledge of who shamans are to 9 people. She told them that shamans can answer any question, that a person has to go to them and their destiny will change. These people came to me hoping for life-changing help. They found Siberian shamanism for themselves. Someone performed the ritual, someone found the help of a spirit. Their destinies have completely changed. A week later, when my student and I again performed the shamanic journey and went to Olgan, there were 9 more souls with us, those students who had found the way during that week. Olgan was very pleased. He had a smile on his face, and you could tell he was expecting us. His eyes were even open, waiting for us to arrive. With a smile, he struck his staff. The blow of Olgan's staff meant that events had changed. At that moment, there was thunder on earth where our bodies were, and it began to rain heavily. When we returned from this shamanic journey, my student's fate had been completely changed. What the astrologer had predicted would happen never took place. My student's car was in an emergency situation on the road, but at the last second, the accident did not happen. The driver was able to steer out, and everyone breathed a sigh of relief. My dear, this is the manifestation of God's will in our destiny. We can accept this influence of higher spirits in our destiny. Currently, my student is alive, and there is no longer a prediction of death in her horoscope. She has instead discovered the skills to see the future. She brought not 3 people, but 9 people to Olgan, and Olgan gave her the talent to see the future. She is my student now, and she will soon be a strong shaman. Using this example, I want to impart on you ancient shamanistic wisdom. A person's destiny is influenced not only by karma, but a person's will and God himself. God can grant us any mercy, reverse any heavy karma, and instantly change a person's destiny. How can we turn to God? For this purpose, the shamans came to Earth. That is why I'm recording this video right now. Yes, a shaman has the skill to raise you up to the gods, so that the gods can intervene in your destiny and support you through various difficult situations, if you sincerely wish for help. But the choice is always yours.
The power of the living shaman drum calls you to places of power, trance practices, contacts with other civilizations, communication with spirits. All this awaits you at the next seminar. Be with the power. Be at the place of power.